Hey guys, happy Monday. Good morning. How are you? It is honestly a very beautiful but very cold Monday here in Atlanta. We actually had flurries on the way to work, which is insane. That never happens. And I don't know. I was already kind of running late today a little bit, but this year is about giving myself grace when those things happen because last year was very hard on myself and like trying to make every single appointment, every single time slot, making sure that I was like on the dot, perfect, all those things. And I've really come to accept that that is not real life. So as long as we do things intentionally and at our best, then we can succeed. So I want to talk to you about what Mondays are like at AMD. Mondays have always been super stressful for me, no matter where I've worked, no matter what my job has been. And I believe that that's probably true for most people, right? Like you coming off of the weekend, you probably have like the Sunday scaries, as people say. And one of the things that I try to do on Mondays is set calm, like 100% be calm. My favorite places to work, we always had a Monday morning meeting with the whole team talking about every project so everybody knows what's going on. So I've adapted that here. I hired Abby, who is my sister. We hired her in October. So she's been here five full months. And she's my manager of operations, and she is my right-hand man in every way. And one of the things that we're trying to do is really set, very clear expectations of what's needed every week, what every project needs, making sure client satisfaction is high, which right now it's not going so great, in all honesty. We lost our dad to cancer about 3 weeks ago. And we knew basically at Thanksgiving, we were told that the chemo was not working, that he had, a few months to live. And so since that point, we have spent as much time with our family as possible. The caveat to that being that our family is in Memphis, Tennessee, which is 6 hours away. So, being the holidays was already in our favor because a lot of people were traveling, they were focused on that. And so we were kind of able to fly under the radar and let a majority of our projects kind of run on their own for a month or two. And then by Christmas, things were starting to progress. And January, we came back mid-January, basically to spend time with our dad before he could no longer have cognitive, real conversations with us anymore. And by the end of January, I think I went back to Memphis earlier than Abby to help our mom. I was there for about a week, and then on February 1st, he passed away. And I was very grateful that all 3 kids, their 2 dogs, my mom, everybody was there when he passed. And, we had known for about 1.5 years that he was fighting a very difficult fight. So we did a really good job of grieving ahead of time, preparing ourselves But we let ourselves have some time at that point. And I'm really grateful because our clients are amazing and understood that. And so I think I was home for like 2.5 weeks, and Abby was home for, almost as long as that. And, now we're back. We're trying to get back into it, right? And it's hard. It's, we checked in with a majority of our clients last week. We're back in the office full time. Everything's been running smoothly, but it's just a matter of like getting us back organized, getting our time blocks together, understanding what project needs what. We have 2 proposals to send out this week, which is exciting. And then we'll get into it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to check in a little bit, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so I've kind of gone over email. Abby is in. She'll make a cameo later. Really what we're doing is she is focusing on social media this morning. Every morning I have her working on 30 minutes of Instagram comments, messages, liking other people's stuff, following designers and local Marietta businesses. That is something that when I started my business, I didn't realize how much time that took. So she's been really helpful in getting that done, because when I brought her on, I couldn't even breathe, let alone do what we needed to do for social media. So we're really trying to, get organized with that in a way that makes sense. And so again, going with like starting every day with calm, just taking time so you know exactly what you're doing first thing every day. Mondays in general are dedicated to us getting ready for the week. So again, like checking email, did anything happen over the weekend? We're having our Monday morning meeting, which we'll probably start that in about 45 minutes. So I'll kind of show you how that works. And then we pre-plan our social media. One thing that we have been, I don't want to say struggling with, but one thing that I have been having a tougher time figuring out is, what do we post when? And so one of the things that I did initially was I hired a marketing social media management company, Stellar Strategies, out of Atlanta, who are amazing for helping me create a monthly calendar of content. What do we post when? How do we keep it going? So I know what to film, when to post it. The problem with that is that I have to give them all the information ahead of time. And they're amazing. They've really helped me out, but I think it's at a point now, especially since we have Abby full time, I want to utilize her creative writing skills, truly post what is actually happening. So aside from starting inside the Mason method, really focusing on not showcasing a picture perfect version of what's happening every week, and instead showing what's actually happening, promoting our blog, letting people know that we're hiring for May now, and it's, February 23rd, so we're about 3 months out, which is great, but pushing those things where we can address them as they come in. So what I'm having Abby do now is help me figure out what we did last week, and then how do we post it this week. So as we do our Monday morning meetings, talking about Okay, this happened last week. You know, we had a column debacle in one of our projects last week, so we'll do a post on that. Um, Even though now we know that the client's not going to go with that option, we had a really great solution. And so I kind of want to show that and the process behind it. We had a site visit. You know, we're just constantly trying to get content no matter where we're going, making sure that next week, if we need to do something on it, we can. So we'll focus on that after the Monday morning meeting. It is the end of February, which means that we need to focus on our blog for March. Again, initially I was doing a blog every month. I think I'm going to change that to every 2 months now, because the blogs are extensive. There's a lot of information in them. And I think it's not going to matter to our future clients if there's a blog every month or every 2 months. March, I believe. What is the blog about for March? I forgot. It's about 5 ways to know if you need a renovation.
Yes.
You know, I read it last week. Abby edited it on Friday. I had her start pulling social media content from the blog. We're going to go over that together so that we can pre-batch that to post for the next 2 months, and kind of go through that and do it. This month also, we launched our 2026 starter kit, which is how to renovate like a pro. And so I worked on that all weekend. You know, I think last year, which was our first edition, it was probably 12 pages. Now it's 40. It is extensive. One of the things was, you know, initially it was kind of like a light overview, trying to figure out, you know, basics of starting reno. Now you can download this and it is extensive. It helps you truly know step by step how to plan, what you need to think about, temporary spaces in your home. Do you need to relocate? Actual costs for what we're seeing for 2026 per room for renovations. And again, that is like looking at national averages versus Marietta, Georgia, which we specialize in. So there's a lot in that, and I'm really excited to post that, start promoting it, get that going. But that's our Monday. That is like literally what we're focused on. And, you know, obviously preparing for any meetings we have throughout the week. But at this point in time, the schedule that we're also trying to focus on is that Tuesdays and Thursdays are client meetings. Now, that doesn't always happen that way. I wish it did. But when you're dealing with people who have all different job schedules or appointments themselves and kids that need to go to school or be picked up, you know, it's not easy to say we're only available Tuesday mornings and Thursday afternoons for meetings. So we're trying to work through that right now too. And then the other reason we're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays is because I like to have a day to prepare and then a day after for us to do meeting notes and follow-ups and anything that we need to gather before sending them that. Now, does it always work that way? No. But we try our best, and we're going to continue to try and make that schedule work because it's easiest for us. Wednesdays are interesting. It's kind of like a free-for-all day where we have a standing meeting at 11 every Wednesday, and that's with my business coach who I've been working with for almost a year now. She's amazing. She's out of Texas, and she focuses on the business of interior design. So on Wednesdays, again, we haven't joined in a while because of what was going on with her dad, but we joined last Wednesday, and we plan on continuing to join and getting back into that as well, because you learn so much, not just by asking her questions, but seeing what other designers and other business owners are going through and learning from them as well. And you get a better touch on what's going on around the country as far as the market. It's so valuable, and it's definitely worth it to put in the time and energy to meet with other designers and network. Thursdays, like we said, dedicated to meetings. Any other time we have is going to be design focused, working on meeting notes, presentations, site visits, construction documents, all that good stuff. Fridays, again, just like Mondays, trying to create calm so that we go into the weekend not feeling like I have to work all weekend. As a business owner, it's really hard to set that differentiator between home and work. And before Abby was brought on, I did all my work at home, and that was great. I love spending time with my dogs and my partner and not stressing about having to leave. But going and running an office space that Abby and I now work in has been a godsend, because when I'm overwhelmed, sometimes being in that home environment, it adds stress to my personal life in many ways, like not being able to escape the dogs if a client calls and they're barking, or not having a definitive time that you start and stop during the day. Now Abby and I can be on a rhythm and say we start every day at 9, we leave every day at 4, right? Dedicated time, and there is a clean line of separation, not just with space, but with time as well, which has been amazing. So Friday is going over everything that happened in the week, right? Client satisfaction. Abby's goals are to send client email updates on Fridays, check in on client satisfaction, making sure everybody's happy, making sure that if they need anything, they know that we're on it, right? My goal is to dive into finances on Fridays. Am I great at it? No, I'm working on it. Things like sending out invoices, paying payroll, making sure that our finances are set up, because we are getting into a stage where we are now purchasing quite a bit, which means that people are giving us lump sums of money, and we need to save those in a separate account until it's time to use and purchase furniture, art, accessories, yada yada, and then also paying our fee from that as well. So while I'm not the strongest in finances, I'm working on it. We have an accountant that's going to start working for us as a bookkeeper part-time, which is going to be extremely helpful in keeping me on the day-to-day. So for example, too, we got to do taxes, and I haven't even started on that. Yay. So we'll figure it out. Maybe this Friday I can get started on it, or I'll put a note to hopefully start on it. But yeah, I mean, that's our week to week. It doesn't always happen the way we want it to. There's always going to be some fire to put out, something that we got to drop and go on site and check it out, and that's okay. Like I said in the beginning, my goal is to be intentional, but also flexible, and give myself grace if things aren't perfect, if things don't hit the way that they're supposed to. And thankfully I have a really great partner in business and then a partner at home who understand that, and both of them do a good job of taking care of me, so I'm very appreciative of that. But that being said, I'm going to start gathering project lists and things for our Monday morning meeting, and I will check back in with you in a little bit. Abby doesn't like being on film. So.
I just wanted a vanilla latte.
Yeah.
What can I say? I'm a simple gal.
You got your dream, you wanted a vanilla latte.
Yes, and other people got their vanilla latte, so why did I get mine out at the top of the line?
Hey guys, Abby and I just spent probably 2 hours going over social media, taking this month's blog, breaking it into 8 different posts, and we'll be scheduling those out to hit once a week for the next 2 months until it's time for our next blog. So now we're going to take a break for lunch. We are going to get started on our time blocks for the rest of the day, which you'll be staying on social media and copywriting. I'm going to be working on a myriad of things, including stuff for ASID Georgia. We have a award show coming up in May, and so I need to get some of the graphics done for that. I have a floor plan that needs to get approved, and then I need to work on some structural adjustments for a client where we were originally going to have a column in the middle of their open concept plan, but they decided to spend a little bit more money to get a structural support beam in the ceiling. So I need to do updated plans for that, and then also some rendering so they understand what the design language is going to be and what that'll look like in their space. So if you want to hang out with me, I'm going to put you over my shoulder, and yeah, we're going to get started. See you soon. Abby and I just got back from getting coffee for the afternoon. Sometimes 3 o'clock, I just like always need a little bit of caffeine. So I got some cookies and I got a coffee. Cheers. We got about 30 minutes until we call it. So every day we try to stop at 3:30 to do one last check on emails, get our timesheets done, set our priorities for tomorrow, make sure that what we intended to get done today got done. I can already tell you that I did not get everything done today that I wanted to, but that's okay. It is a Monday. We got a lot done regardless. So I'll probably need to work on some things at home. So I'll take you along with me for that. But for now, I'm going to work on a floor plan for renovation we're doing for a home in Adairsville, Georgia, which is about an hour north of Marietta. The home is actually from the 1800s. It's over 100 years old, and we're not doing a lot of design on it, but what we're doing is permitting and permit drawings. So a contractor that we work with is flipping the home with his wife, and it's a super cute home. They're going to make a huge profit on it. I'm really excited for them, but they needed some help coming up with floor plans, layout ideas, and eventually pulling together details to apply for a permit, because it is a historical home. So there's a lot of details that need to go into it to make sure that we're honoring the existing architecture of the home. So I'm going to be working on that. I did 3 initial concepts for them. They liked one of them. We've moved forward, and the wife just has a few notes. So I'm going to go ahead and work on those because that's an easy project to get out in the next 30 minutes. And I'll see you in bed. It's a day on Monday. I'm exhausted. I don't know what it is, but I always end up having like a headache or a migraine at the end of the day. I think the way the sun hits the office, it just kills me. So I need to figure out a solution for that. As much as I love daylight, sometimes it is like the glare is too much. So I'm going to really try to drink some water on the way home, try to decompress. I'm probably going to have to work late just because, you know, I got that one floor plan done, but I need to work on the floor plans for my full home renovation in Marietta, where we're doing a full gut of every single room, completely redoing it. If you look on our feed, it is called Urban Classic. It's for a really beautiful young family who, they've been through it. They relocated from California to Texas, and now from Texas to Marietta to be closer to family. And I just love them. I'm really excited to be working with them and bringing them a house that will work for them. But just like the column situation I was talking about, I need to do some renderings of what the ceiling beam is going to look like, because structurally we needed to put more oomph in the ceiling to get rid of a vertical column, but it's going to be 8 inches of a drop. And they have 8-foot ceilings, which means the bottom of that is going to be 7'4". A little tight. So I gotta figure that out. I gotta see how the pendants play around that new drop and see what we can do aesthetically to make it work. But in the meantime, I'm gonna just try to decompress and breathe. Traffic in Atlanta is not fun. I always try to get out of here a little bit earlier than rush hour, so hopefully we don't run into anything too crazy, but you never know. Oh my goodness. All right, you guys, I am home now. I am going to try to decompress, maybe work a little bit more tonight, but first we're going to open up a HelloFresh, cook dinner, just try to relax a little bit, and I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.